All right. So we are going to go ahead and jump into the MSQ. We're in 5.2 today. So from last time that I did this, I actually expanded out all of my, like made all my UI and HUD elements quite a bit bigger. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, this is really blocky right here. I want to decrease that a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. Let me get chat open up. There we go. All right, cool. So I think for this, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do Monk because we don't like Monk and we want it to get all of the MSQ experience so that I don't have to level it in groups and stuff. So I would like to get everything up to 90, of course. And we want to do it as efficiently as possible. And MSQ is by far the most efficient way. Cool. So I really enjoyed 5.1. I thought that ended really, really well. So I was super happy with that. All right. Let's see. Who are we talking to? Who are we talking to? Yeah, I assume they're here in the Rising Stones. All right. Oh, I'm talking to Kryle. Ugh. Why, what a pleasant surprise. If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. It's kind of crazy that, like, you know these two characters so well. And you know the Crystal Exarch so well, but like they're just like fantasies to each other. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Oh, yeah. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Ah, Roro, it's been far too long, my friend. It's the nerdy Garlean. Forgive me, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador. I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Aldin, offering what counsel I can in hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah, yes, I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald, but never mind that. You said you have urgent news? Indeed, as you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor who claims that this de-escalation may belie growing dangers and unforeseen threats. So one cool thing with Final Fantasy is they do not shy away from their vocabulary. Like nobody ever uses belie. That's a great word, but no one ever says it. It's good stuff. Commander Aldin has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. Was it Kryle? Was it Kryle? It would seem time is of the essence. See, even she thinks it's Kryle. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone. Though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades, I see no reason to burden a single scion with all this. Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Alamegan quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two. I don't think I'm going to do voices for anybody except Tataru. I am definitely going to do a Tataru voice. All right. Oop. Let's get over to Alamigo. Spoilers. Flying my horse through the streets of Alamigo. Huh. Wonder if you're supposed to be able to fly to get that lookout point. That's a pretty crazy position one. Or if you're supposed to just parkour your way around Alamigo. Commander Aldin awaits us in the Royal Palace. If you would follow me. Well, why didn't we just meet in the Royal Palace then, bro? Hey.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the science spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured.
Oh, Raban, man. This guy is just, he's all muscle. That's his job. He's just to be muscle.
Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury.
Stormblood was his expansion. He is so far out of his depth in Shadowbringers.
I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea.
I miss your gold suit, my bro.
Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
That's true. We haven't seen.
Meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows and brought more than 2 companions.
It's been a while since we the Warrior of Light has actually talked with Gaius. We've been seeing him so much, I forgot about that.
The best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
Robon kind of sounds like Sean Bean. But not exactly like Sean Bean, so he only lost an arm instead of his life.
Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence.
Thanks, buddy.
Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight. But to me, his description seemed anything but. And upon further investigation, I found that I was right.
You know, I was a little worried that Gaius was going to have something super horrible happen to him, so I am really, really glad that that he's still up.
The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals, with which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
It's a little spicy.
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets. And that should have been the end of it.
Did we know that? Did we know that the Ultima weapon came from under Alamigo? It's kind of a cool tie-in.
But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit. Primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the Seventh was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandanis, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery.
I do like all the political intrigue and stuff that the Garleans always bring with them. I am a sucker for that, though.
What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope.
That was a Sean Bean hope. That's good. That's
Before
good.
you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them.
Man, just all the voice actors are so good. Like I don't know of a single voice actor that like I can think of that I don't like. They're all just fantastic and fit the characters so well. Not including A Realm Reborn.
But the fact remains that you and you alone have faced the Ultima weapon and emerged victorious. We need you.
Kind of weird that he specifies in you alone, because you know, and through the people there with me.
And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days. But it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further.
God, it's so cool. And his voice is like it's made out of sand. It's so good. Just like deep, rich sand. It's great.
I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
And Gaius has, like, you know, slightly gray hair, so that means that in Final Fantasy terms, he's like 29 or maybe even 30.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, eager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
I hope that's foreshadowing. I hope she's not. That's not just an idle comment. I hope that's foreshadowing. Because that would be fantastic narrative if you were put in a multi-pronged desperate situation. I like that outfit that Roro's got on right now. That's good. That's good stuff. As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first. Dude, I go where I want. I don't need to talk to no Kryl. But I'll do it anyway. I take it you're ready to return to the first? Then I would ask that you apprise the others of recent events here in the source, namely Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them that Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Roro. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. Well, I mean, you got their bodies. You can just go see them anytime you want. I guess I didn't need to mount there. Have it, you know. Oh, actually, I need to... I'll home teleport there. Save me some gil. Oh, and actually, while I'm there, I need to... clear out some of my poetics here. I'm just about done with buying all the max level poetics gear. I need to check out and see if there are any like lower item level poetics gear that looks good and needs to be purchased. Let's see. We'll do sage stuff, and we'll do white mage stuff. So, leveling up an Astrologian, it's rough. Astrologian is really, really hard, but I kinda love it. Like, whenever you pull it off really well and, like, get your 2-minute rotation down, it feels so good. So good. And if you want to farm player commendations, man, I tell you, like, Astrologian is the way to do it, especially if you're good with your cards. So anyway, point being, I'm going to save the Astrologia gear for my very last, even though it's really not going to matter because I think all my healers are still like at like 50 or 60 or 70 or whatever, depending on the class, and so it's going to be a little while before I'm going to need any of this gear. But I think as of now, the only poetics gear that I still need to buy is here, let me look at my chart here. Yeah, Ninja and Astrologian now. I don't know if there's stuff that you can buy with Poetics at level 90. Well, actually, I know that there's a whole bunch of crafting stuff that you need to buy at level 90. And that sells really, really well and really, really expensively on the market. So maybe I'll just save up my Poetics and do that as soon as I possibly can. Hopefully I'll be in Walker proper soon enough, but it might be a little while before I can buy all that gear. So we'll have to see. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Talking to the Exarch. So I saw somebody here in the Crystarium earlier that was it was a couple of names off of the Critical Role show, like the D&D podcast or show or whatever they call it. But yeah, it was really made me happy. Y'all, my nose is itching so much, and I really wish it wouldn't. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should I just shove a finger right up my nose for a stream? You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul and a means to return the Scions home. I trust you two have been making good use of your time. Ill tidings from the source, you say? Then I will summon the others that we might all be apprised of the situation. Two uses of the word apprised in like 5 minutes. Well done. Well done, Square. Am I still allowed to call them Square? Are they Square Enix now? I mean, I know they're Square Enix, but am I allowed to say Square?
Now that we are all here, what news from the source? A new Ultima weapon. We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
Yeah, I could see people thinking that Gaius was behind it.
While this is
I'm not piloting it.
development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
I'm sure this is it.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
It's blue Orosite.
Create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white Orosite without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one.
They didn't test that on people. That would be unfortunate. Hey, wait a minute. Where's Alize, guys?
An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
It looks cool. The design of that's great.
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
Yeah, I can increase the voice volume. Do you mean the voice volume in the game or my voice? Oh, I missed what Urianger said here. That's the requisite mind body.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allegan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within Orosite or any other.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass.
Yeah, I can
unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
I can crank up the voice volume. Might take a little bit of tweaking, but yeah, we'll get that sorted out. Blood serveth as conduit of sorts in its absence. Memory cannot pass from mind unto mind or from flesh into crystal. Cool.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel.
That's a little ominous.
I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allegan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. That Like the whole fact that the Crystal Tower is here is almost, it'd be like if an alien vessel like crashed, you know, on Earth and we started, I mean, if guys, that actually hasn't happened, you know, of course that hasn't happened. I'm kind of surprised they haven't had like these crazy technological advances unless the Crystal Exarch has just been like hoarding it all and not letting anybody look into the stuff in there.
But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
So a little bit of criticism on this storyline, like it's like I feel like I'm not doing anything to get people back. It's just a whole bunch of people off on the side trying to get their stuff, like trying to do their own research, trying to do their own stuff to get everybody back into the source. And that I'm like super uninvolved with it.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
Dude, that's a little ominous too. What was his earlier comment? Like, this is getting a little foreshadowy as well. Oh, whoops, that's not what I want. Let me look at the event log. Let me see what he said. Yeah. He's going to determine a means by which his blood can permeate the vessel, and whatever it takes, I will see you safely home. I mean, we know this dude was already, like, super prepped to sacrifice himself to save the Warrior of Light and everything. So, like, I don't know. This whole conversation, it's... I feel like they're getting a little foreshadowy here. Maybe I'm just reading into it.
My apologies.
Hey, it's my favorite character.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Oh, her accent is so great. So great.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
All right, let me see about increasing the volume of the voice here. So what we're going to do is I am going to crank down like everything to 50. I'll keep the master volume where it's at. I'll keep the voice where it's at. And I should probably take that down too, because that'll get crazy loud. Just let me go to 50. There we go. Not to 50! All right. So with that done, let me crank this up a little bit over here. Okay, so next time we have a voice cutscene, let me know how the volume looks on that, if we need to crank it up a little bit more. But I think we're set up to just manually adjust the voiceover in the streaming software. So we should be good. I must confess, while I enjoy my fair share of scholarly research, it will be good to step outside for a spot of fresh air. Now then, shall we go and speak with Lena? Let's. Actually, I'm sensing a dungeon coming up. Can you feel it? It feels like it's coming. We have little time, so I will be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it. A Sin Eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night had returned, but perhaps we should call the others. That will not be necessary. It is only a single Sin Eater. A simple task for our guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example. That's a weird statement. Let's be about it then. Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job. Hey, how's the volume on all of the side sounds right now? Are they too loud? Do I need to crank down the volume on that? If you would wait here a moment, I will gather the others. You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight at your side. I was at death's door that day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd have lightly stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. I too was there that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice but to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, it filled me with dread. But that is no way to honor her or my comrades. Or comrades, I guess, as they say. We should pronounce it properly. And so I have returned. I swear I will not let you or anyone else down from this day forward. A pleasure to meet you, sir, truly. It seems like only yesterday I watched as you took flight astride an Amaro to go and save the Oracle. Strange to think the Yulmoran soldiers we once locked blades with are now on our side, but we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. We seem to be missing one. My apologies, Captain Lena. An elderly gentleman asked that I escort him to Clearmelt. It took longer than I expected. Lies. Stop the cap. I'll not begrudge your desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to honored guests. No, stop. It won't happen again. The name's Thaler. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. Oh, flashback. I asked you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know I was already talking to him. Don't give up. Don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart, and the boundless, beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. My friend got to see the Knight's return shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what was to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives for the promise of a future they'll never know. And so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. Isn't that always the case? That you always pass for a future that you'll never get to see. No matter what happens, we won't give up. We won't give in. Never give up. Never surrender. Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in much the same manner. Our scouts at the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting. The music in Shadowbringers is so good. Like, this delicate nighttime, like, Lakeland music is just great. Will say though, like, I'm not the biggest fan of like the regular old fight music in this. It's cool, it's good, but it's got too much build up. And like the actual meat of it is only like 15 seconds long and then it loops again. Signs are still glowing, y'all.
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
Tell me how the voice levels are, like the voice volume is.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
By himself. Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh. Of his axe, huh? Oh boy.
So I says to him, who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?
And he says, yup.
And he says, no, I'm a warrior of light. And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
Ruh-roh.
A warrior of light? Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be him, the warrior of darkness.
Hmm.
Hey? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
See, even like the voice acting on these little side guys is just so good. So good. There's just so much inflection in the way that they say stuff, and oh, it's just great. It's great. They just put a ton of life in there. It's good.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
Oh, I was looking forward to figuring out how Monk works again.
I had hoped to fight at your side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I apologize for the wasted journey.
All right, cool,
Seems
cool.
I overestimated the threat.
Looks like the voice volume is good. All right. Yeah, y'all let me know if the sound does need any adjustments, like if the background music or whatever needs to be adjusted, or if the voice volume needs to come up or down or what have you. Just let me know in chat.
As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world.
That's cool. The Exarch actually knows about Ardbert's role in all that. I don't know why. That makes me happy.
Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
She did want to talk to the Warrior of Light alone. Freaking Alphino, get out of here.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating.
Again, they're setting this up like the Exarch is old and lived his life and stuff. I'm getting foreshadowy vibes off of this.
Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true.
Okay.
It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man, a younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy. It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there.
This is a nice little denouement for Shadowbringers. Like a denouement I didn't realize I wanted, but yeah, this is good.
Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past. Remind him of all the pain that came before.
Aw, Lena. It's just like her, always taking stuff on herself. All you have to do is just sit there and just read Lorem Ipsum, hon. Everybody loves your accent. Let's see, anchors keep us where we have chosen to be. He's lost without you, and he misses you already, yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, he's got the hots for you,
Then
hon.
perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work.
Thanks, Lena.
This research is important, I know. But if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
See, Lena's such a great, like, feminine character because she's not like brute forcey and like in your face with her strength and everything. Like, she is just valiant and determined and very intelligent and yet underneath all of it, she's got like this I don't know, like this caring and concern about the people that are around her. And like when people around her are suffering, like she feels it and does everything in her power to prevent that suffering or to at least alleviate it. She's just such a great character. I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts. Back to the Crystarium. No, you're not who I go there so often. I just went there by instinct. Oh my gosh. Baron Jr. I wonder if that's a Wheel of Time reference. Let me take a look at this guy. Does he look Perrin-y? I don't know. Doesn't have a hammer, so I mean... Hammer, that might be a good weapon for a new class. No, ain't nobody uses a hammer. The others were quite shocked to hear of what we found in Lakeland. But now that you're here, there is a proposal I should like to make. I have been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people perusing books on history, the years leading up to the Flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light, as well they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as sin-eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that their sudden appearance, in conjunction with this renewed interest in their predecessors, or predecessors, I guess, if you're pronouncing things in Final Fantasy way, may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them. I, too, can attest to the falsehoods found within full many of the cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Ardbert and his comrades. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the Flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I am not surprised to see their roles distorted and them painted as villains. Were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, that knowledge is of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. Let's see, how long has the Crystal Tower been on the first? Did they say it was like 80 years? So 100 years since the Flood and like 80 years for the Crystal Tower to appear? Is that sounding right? Okay, let me know in chat. That said, there still remain those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the Flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Verbert. That such heroes could be spoken of in the same breath as sin-eaters is absurd. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking about, like the 80 years. I was thinking that the Crystal Tower had just always been there, but yeah, it seems like it was a little after the Flood and the subsequent destruction and everything. Right, under normal circumstances, I would agree, but as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the Flood. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the Warriors of Light to become villains deserving only of resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you overcome Emmett Selk, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who knew him only as a villain. This is so sweet, you guys. Like, knowing, like, all of the blame that Ardbert put on himself, it was so appropriate, the ending of Shadowbringers, when he finally, like, is able to help you take down Emmett Selk. Like, that was just a perfect perfectly executed, like, redemption for him, but, like, it's one of those, like, extra little sweetnesses that they're trying to clear his name with the people that he thinks have completely abandoned him. And he thinks rightly so abandoned them. So, like, turning popular opinion to the point where they actually, like, appreciate Ardred, I think is, like, just one of the most fitting and appropriate endings to that guy. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of his sacrifice. To that end, I say we proceed with Alfino's plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium to recount to them the true tale of the Warriors of Light and the flood that followed in their wake. Well, what say you, Rorovachi? Pshaw! Yeah, I wish we had done this sooner. In hindsight, I agree, but better late than never, no? Oh, I didn't mean to be mean to you, Alpha. No, it's a great idea. Exarch, might I ask you to continue working with Bekluk on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium in the Excedra. We have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread and more will accompany them. Oh my gosh, look at all the icons on the map. Holy crud. We'll start up in the Cabinet of Curiosity and, like, work our way south. And we'll Formless Fist the entire way there. Because that's what you do in libraries. Oh, I jumped off the side. Whoops. This is the coolest library. They did such a great job of, I don't know, making this place feel like regal yet cozy at the same time. It's one of my favorite areas. They did such a good job on this. No, this can't be. Surely there is at least one book here that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light. Just, hey, I'm over here. Hey. Down here, bro. Oh, Vachi, forgive me. The Cabinet of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors of late, but I fear our repository lacks for the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the flood of the Warriors of Light. I've searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than sin eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know they were not always judged so harshly, yet I can find no proof, and I dare call myself a librarian. What an embarrassment. You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light, of the Flood? How wonderful. You have regaled me with the tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will not come alone. Hey, that was the quest. Cool. Hey, yep. Let's see, how far do we need to go? Yeah, we need to ether over there. It probably wasn't the Amara launch. It was probably the, what is that place called? The Rookery? Yeah, the Crystalline Mean. Let's head there. Zoom. Hey, what was y'all's favorite character from Shadowbringers? Like not the main characters that are in like every expansion, but like characters that were either introduced or reintroduced in Shadowbringers. Mine is definitely Lena. I freaking love Lena. Although, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like there is Ardbert though. I mean, I would technically consider him like a Shadowbringers character. I don't know. Well, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from Grinald not too long ago. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him at the bottom of the ocean, and that he inspired him to reach new artistic heights. Well, I can only think of one person capable of both feats, though I'd say the latter is far more impressive. To think fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. Speaking of Grinald, I need to finish up the role quests for Shadowbringers and get some of that, you know, role gear, or I guess class gear. I'm sorry, you mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left unsaid, I'm all ears. Alright, looks like next person is in the infirmary, so she'll probably go down to the rotunda. Yep. I love the Final Fantasy names for all this. It's not the infirmary, it's the Spagirics. Vachi, my, what a wonderful surprise. Though I hope your being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Only their history. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my door of late. Which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had fewer opportunities to test my new medicines. Alright, easy there, Dr. Mangala. I jest, of course. Yeah, you better. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and again. The truth about the Warriors of Light, but the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to the tale, I'd very much like to hear it. This is how you move faster as a monk, is you just do Formless Fist over and over again. See, look how fast I'm going. Alright, next up we are in the markets. Come to browse wares in the markets, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need, wherever it may be. Under Yulmore's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is that fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor. Did he really? Little wonder business is booming the way it is. I imagine it won't be long before all of Norvrand reaps the benefits. But you've not come to talk about the market. Something on your mind? I see. The Exarch did mention they had something to do with your returning the night to Norvrand. All right, consider my interest piked. Or is it peaked? I think it might be peaked. I think I said that wrong. Well, well, to what do I owe the pleasure? Whatever it is, I must ask you be brief. With the night returned, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind it, though. Seeing the stairs so full of life and excitement, one can almost forget the flood ever happened. Dude, that food looks really good. Look at that. That looks delicious. Look at those little breads and like the little toasty marks on them? Ah, jeez. The Warriors of Light, yes, the Exarch has mentioned them before, but everyone knows them now as the Cardinal Virtues. Oh, that's appropriate since we handle all the Cardinal Virtue stuff here in the markets. Or are you suggesting there's more to it than that? Well, you've yet to steer us wrong, so I'm willing to hear what you have to say. All right. Back up to the main little plaza there. I can never remember the name of that. Like, oh, this is like the dorsal gate, dorsal gate. Dorsal's like a fin on a fish. So not dorsal gate. That's something totally different. There you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept the Crystarium from top to bottom. Now we need but wait for the people to gather. Oh, second way is the correct way for what?
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we? Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
I'm good. I'm so good at
more
talking.
inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
I'll just nod at them very vigorously. Okay, actually, this is a pretty cool way of doing this. Dude, I love how the crowd is like totally silent. They didn't put like any background noises here. It's a super appropriate way of doing it. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks for
Right.
peeked.
The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls.
Okay, y'all, this is a pretty cool moment.
And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air.
So, the way that the main character here, like, just you see them talking, you don't hear them talking, and it shows like flashbacks. Even if it had been like a talking character like Alphino doing the speech here, I think that would still be a really cool, artistic and cinematic way of doing that scene where, like, with Alphino just like talking silently and then doing flashbacks. I think really cool way of doing that. Cool moment. Cool moment. Oh, dude. Oh, but he's physical and real and stuff.
Impossible.
You can see him too.
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
He says that very seriously, but oh, Alphino and Ghost, man.
Nay, yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
Huh.
That it should be the warrior of darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may.
I'm not getting very friendly vibes off this guy again.
People of the Crystarium, I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a warrior of light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass.
This is weird. Like, okay. So Ardbert coming back, I feel like would have been a major plot point. And like I could see them making a whole storyline out of trying to bring Ardbert back. So that's issue number 1. Second issue is Ardbert doesn't talk like that. Like, he's usually like super low key. He is not like, he's not being boisterous right here, but like that's kind of the word that's coming to mind. Like he's talking loud, he's addressing crowds, when like I feel like Ardbert, that is the exact opposite of what Ardbert typically does. And the third thing is Ardbert should be chilling pretty calmly, like in the Warrior of Light. Like I don't know. I don't know what I feel about this. It is cool to hear his voice again, though.
The hero who stands before you now, the warrior of darkness, is not of this world.
Oh, dang.
And the day will come when he must return to his home.
Oh, dang.
But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it.
Okay, that sounds more like Ardbert right there.
The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
So again, the first part of that, totally something that Ardbert would say, like, hey, we've got to take this mantle on ourselves. We've got to move, and we got to do our thing. I don't know.
Us? Warriors of Light?
That's a good point. That's a really, like, sacrilegious thing to say. So I don't know. Like, it's, I guess what it comes down to is I think I would have normally been way more excited to see Ardbert. But with like his introduction, like being all creepy in 5.1 and him being just a little bit off right here, I don't know, it's throwing me off. Like, I don't know.
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure.
See, that sounds like Ardbert.
But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
Oh, such a great line. Oh, that's a fantastic line. And the voice delivery on that, beautiful. Oh, look at Fachi. He's like, I ain't having none of this. You just outed me, man.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony.
Even Anjay's like, bro, your face looks like you ain't having none of this.
Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
Also, yeah, his axe isn't dirty, but that was like the big thing at the very end of Shadowbringers is that his axe was finally clean again. So I mean, like that's consistent. That's totally like narratively consistent. That was the whole symbolism of, you know, him finally achieving his arc and
So,
being redeemed.
That is a warrior of light of the first.
I was watching it on
Had the pleasure of
CNN.
making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
Jeez. Those are some forceful options. Wow. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Oh, jeez.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
I mean, heck, can we like knock on the Warrior of Light's forehead and see if Ardbert's home? Just talk to him, ask him.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin eater he is not.
Take it to Urianji to pronounce cardinal in a cool way. Cardinal.
Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
Oh, is he thinking Ascian?
That he is an Ascian.
Oh, dang. Huh. There's only one left, though.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I'd have to agree.
A great way of saying that. Oh, a little
From
snarky.
what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Was Ardbert buried with the rest of the... I mean, how the heck did they even find the bodies of the Warriors of Light? Because didn't they like disappear when, like, with Minfilia at the time of the flood? I feel like they were all like floating up behind Minfilia, and they just like poop, pop, pop. Except for Ardbert, and goodness knows what happened to him. Okay. I'm gonna roll with it.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus? Is that it?
Elidibus.
Okay.
That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known.
Oh, that's a really interesting point. It's like Xenos kicked out Elidibus somehow, and Elidibus was just like, hey, let's go to the first.
Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emet-Selk's failure here in the first, 'tis quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
That's crazy. So that is a little bit weird because, like, okay, Ascian is inside of a regular mortal. Somebody kills the mortal, and the Ascian jumps into another mortal. But it's always been like living mortal to living mortal. Like, an Ascian can't stay inside of a dead mortal. That's why they have to like jump out. So I don't know. It's weird that the Ascian would be, that Elidibus would be in a dead body. Unless there was like some resurrection thing that was going on with Ardbert, and the Ascian just took advantage of the situation. I don't know.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen. My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
See, Beklug is like right there with me.
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them.
Oriange, discontinue the cap here, man, because like Beklug was asking if they do this all the time, like taking the bodies of the fallen, but this is the first time we've ever seen an Ascian like take a fallen body. Oh, and actually, did we know that too? In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them? I don't remember that at all.
Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light.
Okay, maybe we did know that. All right, I take it back. Jesus, like Oriange knew what I was thinking. I guess everybody in the audience would have been like, hey, wait a minute, we can what? The echo. Thanks, writers.
On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. It was only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
Oh, that's a really, really good point about Xenos. Oh, dang. Okay, so course of, like, sequence of events. Xenos totally died. Have no idea why, like, his... Like, he's now basically a Garlean Ascian, is what they were saying before. So, for whatever reason, somehow, like, his soul or whatever separated from his body was dead, Elidibus took that body. And I guess made it all, like, normal and mortal again, and then Xenos was able to repossess it. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's cool, though.
And they have gained much by it. Emet-Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while La Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Dude, don't say that too loud. Thancred, I mean, he's not there, but he can hear you. He can hear it when you talk about him.
It must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion.
Oh, it's because it's already tempered. They can't take stuff tempered by what's her name? Heidelin. That's it.
Mayhap the blessing of light shielded chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
The
Whatever
blessing
the
of
reason I hope it
light,
holds true.
yeah.
I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Arbert's mortal remains should be susceptible?
Oh yeah,
That he was
dude, that's
once
a great
warrior
point.
of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps?
Dude, that's a great point. Huh.
Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
I mean, not really, though, because that was Emmett Selk's whole thing with getting us to be corrupted with light. He was trying to get us to, like, tip the balance so that there would be, like, a complete flood and a rejoining. So, I mean, like, that makes perfect sense for an Ascian to, like, try to recruit more warriors of light. Makes perfect sense.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful.
I love that Rianche is just like, yeah, I wanted more information, so I totally screwed over like a ton of people. I have no remorse whatsoever.
Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat. And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more.
Yeah,
nor yours, by association.
Yeah, the timing really sucks on that. Guys, no, Ardbert was actually good. Check out all the good things, and then Ardbert shows up. Ah, never mind. That's just bad timing. But I mean, hey, that's if you're gonna use Ardbert,
It may be
that's
wise to keep a covert
pretty
eye
brilliant.
on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
Dude, you have CNN on your wall. You can just turn it on and like watch Ardbert and whatever he's doing at any time, man.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
Yes, send Alphino to be the stealthy guy. Great idea. You did well to dispel the falsehoods surrounding the Warriors of Light and their actions prior to the Flood, though I must say the reappearance of Ardbert, or rather one who appropriated his identity, was a rather curious development. He is an impostor, of that there is no doubt, but to the masses he will appear as a hero returned from the grave. After the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore, the people prayed fervently for the gods to deliver them from their plight. Prayed that these fallen heroes be born again for their sacrifices. What bitter irony. I, for one, would like to know why Ardbert urged the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. Ere we take action, we must needs ascertain his intent. Let us pray that Master Alfino return soon with the most essential knowledge. That most essential knowledge. For now, I think it best to apprise Thancred and Reen of our efforts. When we do confront Ardbert, we shall no doubt have need of their strength. Agreed. I think it prudent we all take measures to prepare for what's to come. Oh, whoops. I missed something there. See, Beckluke and I will continue our research into how we might improve the spirit vessel that might one day carry you home. Then I think it time I return to the Great Wood. Until now, everything we have learned of the Ascians has been handed to us at their leisure. But that was one of Emmett Selk's unique failings. I have no reason to think Elidibus will be as forthcoming. Fortunately, I received word from Fano that heretofore unexplored chambers have been discovered deep within Kitana Ravel. Almet believes the relics within tell of a great calamity that befell an ancient civilization. That of the Ascians, perhaps. They may lead us to the truths we seek. Oh, that'd be cool. I would love to have more like more murals like describing the history. That was one of the coolest parts of Shadowbringers. Would you care for company? I wouldn't dream of going without you. When you are ready, make for Fanau. Almet and her sisters will be expecting us. Then let us be about our tasks. Pray give my regards to the V's. Cool. Yeah, lots of intrigue going on. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for tonight. I will be back online Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to play some new hotness. I'll be jumping on Baldur's Gate 3. So thank y'all for joining. Thank you for being here, and y'all take care.